Time for Timothy. Yes, boys and girls. Tim helps a new friend in his quest for answers.
Gee, is that boy crying? He sure looks sad. I wonder what's wrong. He's new. Guess I'll go talk to him. If I were sad, I'd want to talk to me. Hi, my name is Timothy. My friends call me Tim. What's yours?
Ross.
Ross, are you new? You're new, aren't you?
Yes, we just moved here.
Want to play ball?
Nah,
How come?
just don't feel like it.
What do you want to do?
Nothing.
Oh, what's wrong?
We used to live in a house, and now we live in an apartment. It's weird. Everything's new, and I don't feel right.
How did you have to move?
Well, because Mom said we couldn't afford to stay there.
What about your dad?
But he doesn't live with us anymore.
Gee, Ross, why not?
My mom and dad got a divorce, and Mom and I have to live here. We can't live in our old house anymore.
Gosh, that's tough. I'd be sad too. Gee, a divorce. Oh, I think it's time to go inside. Oh, boy! The teacher said we're going to have a spelling bee. Come on, Ross.
All right, class. I hope you've been studying your spelling words very carefully. Are you ready for the spelling bee?
Miss Patience, can Ross be on my team?
Why, Tim, that's very thoughtful of you. Of course he may be on the same team. Now, class, those of you who sit on this side of the room be team number 1. The rest of the children will be over here on team number 2. All right, class, please line up quickly on your team. All right, class, we're ready to begin. Team 1, Kathleen. Please spell the word mother.
M-O-T-H-E-R, mother.
That is correct. Very good, Kathleen. Team 2, Elmer. Please spell father.
F-A-T-H-E-R, father.
Correct.
Right.
Thank you, Elmer. Team 1, Maureen. Please spell children.
C-H-I-D-R-E-N, children.
No, I'm sorry, Maureen. That was not correct. You must sit down. Team 2, Tim. Please spell children.
C-H-I-L-D-R-E-N, children.
Thank you, Tim. That is correct. Team 1, PJ. Please spell friend.
F-R-I-E-N-D, friend.
Correct, PJ. Team 2, Ross. Please spell family. Ross, it's your turn. Please spell family.
No, I just can't.
I don't understand, Ross. Are you nervous? Just take your time and think.
I'll try.
The word is family.
F-A-M-I... I can't.
You may sit down if you wish, Ross. I am sorry you did not spell the word. I think you really do know how. Team 1, Kathleen, please spell family.
F-A-M-I-L-Y, family.
Thank you, Kathleen. That is correct. Team 2.
Hey, Ross, hold up. Looks like we're heading in the same direction. What street do you live on?
Harvest at 38th.
Hey, Hey, great! That's not very far from me. We can walk together.
Okay, let's go.
Gee, Ross, I was sure you were going to spell that word right. You do know how to spell family, don't you?
Sure I do. I just couldn't.
Why not?
Timothy, wait for me.
Okay, come on, Chucky.
Who's Chucky?
Oh, a kindergarten kid. He's a friend of mine.
Hi, Tim.
How you doing? What you got there?
A secret box.
No kidding? What's in it? Sorry. I know, it's a secret, isn't it?
You can look, Tim, but just you.
Listen, Chucky, this is Ross. He's a new friend of mine. He's okay. So you're going to show us what's in your box, huh?
Okay.
Hey, a Babe Ruth baseball card.
Look, a real small yo-yo. Know how to work it?
Can't. No string.
Yeah, pretty hard to make a yo-yo go without string.
Oh, a popsicle stick. Oh, boy, that's some marble. Hey, not bad.
Golly, I used to have a whole bunch of marbles in my special box.
What happened to them?
Had to get rid of the marbles. All the stuff in my box, too. Almost all my toys.
No kidding? Why?
My mom said there wasn't enough room in the apartment. It's tiny. Wish we were still in our old house.
Oh, gosh. That's tough, Ross.
Heck, why did my parents have to get a divorce?
What's a divorce?
Well, that's when your parents don't live together anymore.
They don't? Gee, maybe Mom and Dad are going to get Are they?
Divorce? Oh, no. Don't be dumb.
Are you sure?
Sure, I'm sure.
How do you know?
Look, I just know. Now, come on, Chucky. Let's go put the rubber band back on your secret box and get moving. I don't want your mom worrying about you. Come on, Ross.
Hey, Tim, didn't you have any homework tonight?
Oh, my gosh, my books. Oh, I was in such a hurry to catch you, Ross. I left them on the school steps. Now I'll have to go back.
Mom wants me to come straight home.
I know, Chucky. You go on.
I'll go back with you, Tim.
Okay. You know, Ross, I think this divorce thing is really getting you down.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk to your mom about it?
No way.
Well, sometimes it helps to talk.
Hi, Ross. Hi, Tim. What are you two talking about? Gee, what's the matter? Are you mad because your team lost the spelling bee?
No, Maureen, that's not it. Something's wrong with Ross.
What's wrong? Tim, why is Ross so sad?
I think it's because his folks got a divorce.
Oh.
It's awful when your mother and father don't live together anymore.
Oh. Why did your mom and dad get a divorce? I know a girl who lives only with her mother. Maybe her parents got a divorce. She said he doesn't live with them because she was bad. Do you think maybe it's your fault, Ross?
Maybe. I don't know.
This girl said that she didn't do her chores like she was supposed to and didn't study very hard. Her parents were always mad and argued a lot about her. Maybe you didn't do your chores. Did you do something to make them get a divorce?
I don't know. I don't know why they got a divorce. They yelled a lot, and sometimes it was about me. Sometimes I didn't do my chores. Sometimes I forgot to take out the trash or make my bed.
Well, see?
Maybe if I had done everything right, they wouldn't have gotten mad, and they wouldn't have argued so much. Maybe they would still be together. Maybe it's all my fault.
Oh, you don't really think so.
Gee, Tim, do you think if I started working real hard on my chores and tell my dad I'm really trying, that they'll get back together and we can be a family again? Do you, Tim? Huh? Do you?
Gee, I don't know, Ross. I don't think kids can do that. Well, what I mean is, well, we're only little, and they're grown up. I don't think kids can do all that.
Well, if I made them mad, gosh, I can sure fix it.
Sure, all parents get mad at their kids and yell sometimes, but they still love you. I don't think it's your fault.
Hi. How about playing some baseball? I bought the ball and bat.
No thanks, Elmer. We're talking now.
What about? Sports? I like sports.
No, we're not talking about sports. We're talking about Ross's family. His parents got a divorce.
A divorce? Oh, I know what that is. A boy in my gym class is divorced. Well, I mean his parents got divorced. But then they got back together because he was always getting in trouble, especially at school. I think his mom and dad got back together to take care of him and keep him out of trouble. Maybe you should do that.
Do what?
Get in a whole bunch of trouble.
Gee, do you think so? Do you think that it would work? If I got into a lot of trouble, do you think maybe my mom will tell my dad and then they'll get back together? You know, I could get into trouble.
Hey, now wait just a minute.
I could do stuff at school, like not mind the teacher, throw things in class, start fights. My mom doesn't like me to fight. I know she'd tell Dad if I started fights. Then maybe they'd start talking again, and Dad would move back with us, and we'd be a real family again. That would be great. Oh, Tim, do you think it would work?
Oh, boy. I don't know. I don't think anyone should try to get into trouble. Gosh, both of them would really be mad at you and yell a lot more.
I guess you're right. But what can I do? They split up because of me. I gotta do something to make it all okay again.
That's right. Ross, my friend said so.
Ross, I don't think Elmer's right. Kids don't cause a divorce, and kids can't do anything to get parents back together.
Do you really mean that? That the divorce isn't my fault?
I think so, but I'm not real sure. Maybe we should ask someone else. I know! Let's ask some of my grown-up friends what they think.
Hey, that's a good idea, Tim. Be sure to ask Chandler.
Who's Chandler?
Oh, he's the school janitor. He's really neat. He likes kids and he knows a lot about sports. He's smart. That's a good idea. But I can't go. I have to go home and practice baseball. My dad says that if I practice real hard, maybe someday I'll be good enough for the major league. See you tomorrow. Bye, Tim. Bye, Ross.
Come on, Ross, let's go. Hi, Mr. Wood. This is my new friend, Ross. Ross, this is Mr. Wood. He's really old and smart. He knows everything about just about everybody.
Well, Timothy, you are exaggerating again, young man. I don't quite know everything about everybody, but I do remember quite a bit. After all, I've been around a long time. Ross, it's a great pleasure to meet you. I can tell just by looking that you have a story to tell, a very important one.
Why, Mr. Wood, how did you know that? You're right. Ross just moved here. His parents got a divorce, and he's going to our school now. He lives with his mother.
I see. Well, Ross, that's hard. You must miss your father very much.
Yes, sir, I sure do. I wish he'd moved back with us. Maureen and Elmer said that maybe the divorce was my fault, and maybe I could do something to get them married again. Tim said he didn't think so, but we decided to ask someone else.
I see. When you came to ask me, Tim, that was a very good idea you had, that kids can't make their parents get married again. Why, I remember once a long time ago, there was a new family moved into these parts. One day the little girl came crying into these very woods. She told me that her daddy was going away, and she might never, ever see him again. She said that her mother and father had been yelling a lot at each other, and finally they separated. That's what it's called before they get divorced. She was afraid she had been bad.
Gee, just like me.
Yes. She picked on her baby brother and didn't mind her mother, and even got into a fight at school. Her parents yelled at her and disciplined her and tried to help. Then they started blaming each other for her bad behavior, which, of course, was silly.
Yeah, you see, Ross, they didn't make her do all those things.
It took a long time, but she finally began to feel better, and she went home and talked to her mother. Her mother helped her understand that her mother and father had had a lot of problems for a long time, and the little girl wasn't to blame. And the next time she saw her father, she talked to him, and he told her the very same thing. Do you see? The divorce wasn't your fault.
I see, I think. Okay, but how can I get them back together?
Being bad sure doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. And that reminds me of another time. Why, when another family moved in not too far from here.
Well,
this
gee,
family
Mr.
on-
Wood, well, we'd like to stay and listen, but I promised to
they
take
had a
Ross
sur-
all around the neighborhood, Mr. Wood.
What? Oh, yes, of course. Well, you two run along. But remember, Ross, if you ever want to know more about some of the history of this town or its people, just stop by. I'm always glad of a chance to talk about history.
Thanks, Mr. Wood, but maybe I will stop back. It was nice to meet you.
Oh, it was nice to meet you too, Ross. Come and visit me anytime. You too, Tim.
Well, you just have to meet Mrs. O'Hare. She's sort of funny, but nice. She really likes kids and has a lot of her own. In fact, she has so many kids, she can't even remember all of their names.
Really? I'm glad my mom can remember my name.
Mrs. O'Hare! I'm sure she's around here someplace. Oh, Mrs. O'Hare! Mrs. O'Hare, are you home?
Oh, it's you, Timothy. It is you, isn't it? Oh, I have trouble seeing these days. I've lost my glasses again. Oh, and who's this? Tim, did you bring a friend along?
Yes, Mrs. O'Hare, I did. This is Ross, and he's just moved into town. I want him to meet some of the people. We just met Mr. Wood, and now we're coming here. Ross, this is Mrs. O'Hare.
Hello, Mrs. O'Hare.
Ross, that's your name, isn't it? Sometimes I don't remember names very well. I have so many of them to remember. Rabbits have very large families, you know, and lots of names to remember. It's nice to meet you, Ross. I hope you like your new home.
It's okay, I guess.
Oh, dear me. You don't sound very happy about it. Is there something wrong? Because if there is, I know what will fix it. Carrots. There's nothing like a good fresh carrot to make everything better. Timothy, you should know that.
Well, Mrs. O'Hare, Ross's problem isn't something carrots can fix. I know they're good for you and all that, but, well, this is different.
Nonsense, my boy. Ross, you just come over here where I can see you better. There. Now tell me about it while I fix us all carrots. You'll see.
Well, okay. You see, my parents got a divorce, and I have to live with my mother, and we had to move here into an apartment, and I have to go to a new school, and everything is so different.
There. It will all be better pretty soon. Why, carrots can make anything feel better. Here, try one.
Thanks.
Yes, thank you.
Mrs. O'Hare, we appreciate you trying to help, but I think we better get going. There's one more person I want Ross to meet before he has to go home. I want him to meet Chandler.
Chandler? Oh, yes, I remember him. Doesn't he fix things or something like that?
Yes, he works at school. We're going there now. Hi, Chandler.
Well, hi there, Tim. Who's your new friend?
This is Ross. He just moved here, and he's in my class at school.
Hi, Ross. Glad to know you. Tim's a good friend of mine. I'm very glad he brought you over to visit me. Just call me Chandler. Everyone does.
Hi, Chandler.
How do you like it here?
Okay, I guess.
Well, exactly. Ross needs to find some answers to some questions, and I thought you might be able to help.
Oh, hey, what's your question, Ross?
Well, can kids make their parents get a divorce and stop loving each other?
Well, now, that's a big question.
And can kids fix it so they get back together?
2 questions, I see. Here, give me a hand with this board, please. And Tim, pass me the nails one at a time. I've got to get this thing finished, you see.
What are you making?
New shelves for the library, for all the new books the school bought.
Gee, I didn't know you could make these. I thought you just went to the store and bought them. That's what my mom and dad always did.
Well, that's one way to get them, Ross. But I like to make things.
He's real good at it, too.
Thank you, Tim. Now, Ross, you asked me a question. A very important question, I think.
Yes, sir.
You asked me if I thought boys and girls could cause their parents to get a divorce. And if so, could they get their parents back together again?
Yes, sir. Can they?
Well, first I need to know a little bit more about the problem. I know it is a very sad thing for children when their parents get a divorce. It hurts a lot. And sometimes it is very hard for children to understand why their parents stop loving each other.
Yes, sir. It sure does.
Well, it sounds like you know what I'm talking about, huh?
Yes, I guess I do.
Well, why don't you just tell me a little bit more about it, please?
Well, gee, that's kind of hard.
It sometimes is hard to talk about things that are sad.
My mom and dad got a divorce, and I don't know why. I mean, they said they didn't love each other anymore. But how can love just stop?
Well, it doesn't just stop. It happens little by little when people stop being kind to each other.
Like when sometimes they yelled at each other and argued, even over stuff that wasn't important?
Yes. Sometimes there are lots of arguments and yelling.
But sometimes they didn't yell. Sometimes they didn't even talk. Except when they yelled at me.
Sometimes when parents are mad at each other, they will yell at their kids. And sometimes then, if the parents get a divorce, their children think they're to blame. But this thinking is a mistake.
A mistake? Why? Maureen said her friend said her parents got a divorce because she didn't do her chores or study very hard. They were mad at her and yelled at each other, and they got a divorce.
Maureen's friend is wrong, Ross.
That's what Tim said, too. Why?
Because children are children and parents are adults. And divorce is an adult decision based on adults' feelings and behavior. Ross, here's a piece of wood. Can you break it? Please, try. Marriages are like that wood. A child cannot break it, but adults can. Children are too small to do things to make their parents' marriage break. Not even a very naughty child can make his parents get a divorce.
Not ever?
Not ever. And because children are too small to break their parents' marriage, they are too small to make them get back together.
There's no way I can fix things so we can be a family again?
No way, Ross. I'm sorry, but that's the way it is.
But Elmer said that his friend was able to get his parents back together by being bad. He kept getting into a lot of trouble, and his mom and dad got back together to keep him out of trouble. Didn't it work for him?
No, Ross. I'm sure he thought so, and it sounds like Elmer thought so, too. No, his parents got back together because they found out that they still loved each other. After they got a divorce, they discovered that they did love each other, but this doesn't happen very often. I think they would have gotten back together even if their son had not gotten in so much trouble.
So there's no way I can fix their marriage again?
No way, Ross. You didn't break the marriage, and you can't fix it. Only they can do that, if they want to.
I didn't break it, and I can't fix it. I didn't break it, and I can't fix it. Did you hear that, Tim? It's not my fault. I didn't break their marriage, and I don't have to fix it.
Oh, boy, I sure did. You didn't break it, and you don't have to fix it.
Gee, Chandler, thanks a lot. It's been a lot of help talking to you.
You're welcome, Ross. Please come back and visit me again.
Oh, I will. Come on, Tim. Who else can we meet? Mom said I didn't have to come home right away, so I can make new friends.